Lexi, so most people don't know this because I noticed that a lot of folks were just excited about you screaming. Put a 3 in the chat if you saw Lexi screaming. If you saw Lexi's scream video. Or if you went to the show. So what I think is funny is like the amount of people that were just like, oh wow, Lexi, you really found your calling. And that's really nice. But how long have you been working on this? The screaming thing?
A year. At least a year.
You really did. Your interest started last year.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the deal with it? Like, why did you start?
You're getting a bunch of 3s.
Wow. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. What was your question?
So what interested you about screaming? Like, because I thought it was kind of foolish. I thought you were going through a fad. When you said that you wanted to scream, Lexi, I thought it was like one of those things that young people say that, they want to do something. And that, especially with music, a lot of young people say they want to do something. I want to play violin. And then the first time somebody tells them they're not doing it right, people quit. Like, that's my experience with music a lot.
So what kind of started it was, I've always been a metalhead, ever since I was a little girl. And I've always been very curious and infatuated with the screams. But when I was younger then, indulging in the metal and the screaming and everything.
The metal.
The metal and everything. I didn't really quite understand it. I didn't really understand.
That's like me and reggae. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Exactly. Yeah. So I still loved it. I still continued to listen to it. And as I got older, I started to.
Because you're really old now, I'm
so old. But as I got older from then, I started wanting to get curious about how they're doing this. And
physically.
Yes, the anatomy.
Mechanically.
Yes.
Yes.
The anatomy of how they're doing the I want to know the anatomy of that.
Right.
So I started to get a little bit more curious and wanted to learn more, which took me into death metal.
Yep.
And from there,
because you love death metal.
I love death metal.
Start liking death metal when we started like playing bigger shows like in Rhode Island and out, like when we had, because that's when we first started playing with like a lot of death metal bands at that time.
Around then, I started to
This is laughable, but Sepsis is like the hardest band ever. Before we started going, like, you know what I mean, like in our circle's like light
compared to
right. You know what I mean? Like, there's some people who describe us as a heavy band, and I'm like, what? I'm like, no.
I would say around then, it made me look at the screamer in a completely different way than in a recording, trying to figure out, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
Seeing it on stage
singing,
and being in that experience and being in that environment and maybe be like, you know what? I wonder if I could do it. I listen to this music all the time.
Yeah.
I want to listen to it. I want to sing. I sing with them, sing my own version.
Yeah.
And it made me want to be like, you know what? Let's indulge more in death metal and learn how to.
It always bothered me growing up when people would say, and this is like really cliche, I don't want to get stuck up on this too long, but it always would bother me when people go, look at her, she's so cute. How does she do that? And I would look at people who don't scream, and I'm just like, you just don't know screaming.
And that made me want to learn.
Yeah.
That right there made me want to
learn. It's like little dogs bark really loud, too, Just add that.
Maybe you could talk with them if you scream.
No, so last night you had to go through 3 different things that you've never done before. So you did your warm-up in the parking lot, but you got to scream with the front man of Dead Reckoning, Taylor, who's like a renowned national screamer. He goes around screaming with Slaughter to Prevail and Attila and all these people. Now he's screaming in your face. How did you feel about that? I was intimidated for you. I was like, this guy's gonna blow you out the parking lot.
I knew he was going to blow me out of the parking lot. I wasn't really concerned about who was gonna win.
Right.
But I was a little intimidated, but at the same time, I'm like, this is an opportunity to scream with someone new. This is an opportunity to perhaps, like, learn something.
What planet are you
under-
from? You're not a Gen Zer. Something's wrong with
I
you.
keep trying to explain this
That's
to you
it.
people.
You're smoked
I am
out.
not a Gen Zer. I may be in that generation, but I am not that person. I'm
That's
not
funny.
those people.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
And-
I was like, I had to do it.
So that was a first, and then it was another first. Have you ever performed on stage ever?
No.
Can I tell you something?
Sorry.
Look, you can't even
I
deal.
keep thinking about it, so I'm really excited. Sorry.
You're really smiling very hard right now.
Yes, it was really. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing.
I'm really.
You're really excited,
Yeah.
and you're really happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll calm down now.
All right. So, and what was your like? I noticed that you were very confused when I asked you to come to the stage, and which side to come to the stage. We're gonna have to talk about downstage right and downstage left and what that means.
So when you were giving me in that moment the stage directions,
Yeah.
I was so beyond excited that it was actually happening that I
thought you were gonna have an
completely-
anxiety attack or something.
No, I was more excited than
Okay.
anxious or nervous.
That's good. Good.
Like, I was a little bit nervous, but I was more excited than anything.
Yeah, you were making me nervous.
Kevin said, "You ain't got nothing to apologize for, Lexi. Stop it."
I'll tell you. I know, for real. I'll tell you what. I was nervous for you though. Because
Really?
yeah.
Why is that?
Because you, I don't know. Because I'm rooting for you.
Appreciate it.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because I want you to come out on top.
Thank
You know what I'm saying? I like my friends to come out on top. So sometimes I get nervous. You know what I mean? I can remember like the first time I saw my son in a basketball game. I was like he would shoot the ball and I would notice I'm moving. Like you know what I mean? Like he would do something and I'm moving like I'm on the court.
Like, very timid.
No, like I'm moving like I'm like in his body.
Oh, okay.
Like trying to move. Like he's passed
like
the ball.
for him, like a video game.
Yes. Like he's going left and I'm like.
No, you should go this way.
Right.
No, stop.
Right.
You should go this way.
I'm like, should like trying to jump in his brain.
Trying to play his avatar.
Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. Yeah. So that's good. And then and the third thing, you've never screamed with a band. No. What was that like? Was it weird being on that stage on the stage like that for the first time?
It wasn't weird. It just felt really good.
You liked it.
Yeah, it felt really.
You look kind of natural.
Really good.
I can tell you've been in the scene for a long time because like you had like your little like screamer girl shuffle.
I had the shuffle.
You like a
I had a shuffle. Oh, that's great.
You're like beefing up. You're like.
Rob said, "I'm so glad I got that moment on film. You just hit 1K views on Local Music Watch
Dude,
New
Rob,
England.
yo,
Awesome
shout out to
job.
Local Music because honestly, like, yeah, I'll tell you, like, Rob killed it, dog. Like, that's crazy because, like, I stepped out for a minute because I had to just adjust, and I see Rob, he got the phone, and he's like, he says just nonchalantly, he's like, yeah, you're gonna really like the footage that I got of Lexi screaming. I documented it. I'm like, really? And he goes, no, you're really gonna like it. I said, no shit. He goes, no, you're gonna like it. And I go, get out of here. And he goes, and like at this point we're both kind of like, should we just watch it? But we're at the show. Like, should we, you know what I mean? Like it's two guys at the show, like contemplating should we go over the footage and just look at it? Because he's trying
Did
to
you look at the footage?
Yeah, look at the footage. Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who
Thank you.
who captured. Oh my God, can we plug the girl? The home girl. I'm gonna plug her right now. I'm plugging her. I'm gonna make sure I get it right too. Plugging.
Han said, "Lexi, you're hired."
I'm hired. I did it.
This girl was great, guys. Go to This is my buddy right here. Madyson Coburn Photography. I didn't even, hold on. I'm serious.
Hey, she killed it with those photos.
I don't know if you else. Up or down?
A little closer because they can't read anything.
That's
Right
what,
there.
That's what it looks like.
It's still blurry.
Is that moving, maybe?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
It's not working.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
So, but please. Oh. So that's Madyson Coburn photography. Go follow her on Instagram because she took a bunch of great pictures.